For most of my adult life, I believed I understood what love meant. I married young, built a quiet home, nurtured my garden, and worked part-time at the local library. Love, for me, was something dependable and kind, a steady presence more than a spark. But I didn't know what I was missing until one stormy afternoon cracked open a part of me I thought had long since gone quiet. I was 35, single again for the first time in over a decade. My divorce had been final for just under a year, and though the house was mine, it still echoed in places where companionship used to live. I had come to appreciate the silence, or so I thought. That day, the rain came sudden and hard, a heavy early summer downpour that made the windows cry. I was curled up on the window seat, tea in hand, watching the hedges bow under the wind, when I saw someone sprinting up the sidewalk, soaked to the skin. His hoodie clung to his back like a second skin. At first I assumed it was a teenager from the neighborhood, but then he got closer. It was Zion, Michelle and Gary's son from next door. 23, maybe 24. He'd moved back home a few months ago after college, and while I'd seen him mowing their lawn or jogging past, we'd exchanged only the occasional polite smile. Until now. He reached my porch, dripping and breathless, and knocked. I opened the door and blinked in surprise. "Hey, Miss Diana," he said, out of breath. "Sorry, was out walking. Didn't think it'd pour like this. My parents aren't home, and I don't have a key." He looked like a drenched puppy, water streaming from the ends of his hair, his jeans plastered to his thighs. I hesitated for only a moment before stepping aside. "Come in before you catch something," I said, holding the door wider. He murmured a thank you as he stepped inside, tracking rain across the foyer. I fetched a towel from the closet and handed it to him. His fingers brushed mine as he took it. Didn't mean to barge in. Just needed somewhere to wait it out. "It's no trouble," I replied, trying not to notice how his dark eyes lingered on mine, how his smile lit up even in the gray of the storm. "I can grab you something dry. Some of my brother's old clothes are still in the guest closet." Zion hesitated, then nodded, that crooked smile returning. "I'd really appreciate that." As I walked down the hall, I became acutely aware of my breathing. Not from exertion, just a tightness in my chest I hadn't felt in a long time. There was something quietly electric about having him in the house, something that reminded me I was still young, still here. When he emerged from the guest room, he wore a navy t-shirt and gray sweatpants. The shirt clung to his frame, the fabric still holding some of my brother's scent, cinnamon and cedar. He looked at ease, like the house already belonged to him. "Your place still smells like lemon and cinnamon," he said, plopping onto the couch. "You used to bake lemon bars, right? I came by with my mom once when I was a kid." "I still do," I replied, smiling. "Lemon bars are my specialty." We talked easily, his job search, my garden, how the world had gone sideways. The rain drummed steady, thunder occasionally breaking through our laughter. His gaze held mine longer than polite, and I found myself leaning in, caught in the soft storm of his presence. "I'm probably overstaying," he said, finally glancing at the window. "Rain's not letting up." "You're fine," I said a little too quickly. Then, almost without thinking, "Stay for dinner. I made soup. More than I can eat alone." His face lit up. "That sounds amazing." Dinner was simple, potato leek soup and buttered toast, but it tasted better with him across from me, grinning between bites. We shared stories, memories, hopes we didn't admit to many people. Afterward, we stood in the kitchen side by side, washing and drying. Our arms bumped once. Then again. The third time I didn't move. Neither did he. I looked up. He was already watching me. The moment held, quiet and loaded. His breath was soft, his gaze warm. My fingers trembled slightly around the dish towel. Then I stepped back, too fast. "I should get you a blanket," I said, voice hushed. He nodded slowly. "Yeah. Okay." But the air between us didn't go back to what it had been. Something had shifted, something soft and undeniable. He slept on the couch. In the morning, I found him folding the blanket, pillow already tucked away. He wore his own clothes again. Dry now, calmer. Morning, he said with a soft smile. Morning, I replied, trying to steady my voice. Thanks for everything. I didn't mean to make things weird. It wasn't weird, I said quickly. Just unexpected. Yeah, he said. Me too. At the door, I added, you can come by any time, rain or not. His smile changed then. Gentle. Real. Thanks, Diana. Not Miss Diana. Just Diana. That evening, just before dusk, he came back. No rain this time. Just him, hands in his pockets, standing by the porch rail. You came back, I said, trying not to sound as relieved as I felt. I didn't think you'd mind. I don't. He sat beside me, our shoulders almost brushing. I've been feeling kind of lost lately, he said. Like I don't fit anywhere. I know what that feels like, I whispered. More than you'd guess. He turned, really looking at me. I see you. I always did. The silence was full again, but full in a good way. Then he asked, that moment in the kitchen, did you feel it too? I looked down, then back up. Yes, I did. He exhaled, slow and shaky. Okay. I just needed to know I wasn't imagining it. You weren't. When he stood to go, I said something that surprised even me. You don't have to. He paused. I want to stay. If you want that too. I rose and faced him, heart pounding. I'm not ready to close the door on this. So neither of us did. From that moment on, the world moved a little differently. Zion didn't come by every day, but when he did, my house filled with something light, something awake. One afternoon, he showed up with a box. What's that? I asked. A Polaroid camera. If we're making memories, maybe we should keep a few. He snapped a photo of me on the porch, hair tousled, lips curved in a shy smile I didn't know I still had. Later that evening, we danced to Fleetwood Mac in the living room, the vinyl crackling, his hands steady on my waist. When the song ended, neither of us stepped away. What are we doing? I asked, voice quiet. I don't know, he said, brushing my cheek with his thumb. But it feels honest. It did. And when he leaned in, I kissed him. Slow, tender, real. That night, he stayed again, but not out of weather or obligation. We sat curled on the couch, hands laced, hearts bare. I don't know where this story is headed. I only know that after so long, I've stopped waiting for perfect and started reaching for what feels right. Zion didn't fix my life. He reminded me it wasn't over. And that love, when it returns, however unexpected, is worth answering the door for. Zion started coming over every evening. Sometimes he helped in the garden, sometimes they just shared quiet coffee on the couch. One rainy afternoon, Diana smiled at him and said, "Looks like your weather has returned." Zion gently took her hand and said, "No, Diana, this time, I came back on my own for you." In their silence was a promise that whatever had begun between them now wouldn't be left unfinished.